Esi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Nattakoti Vaishnavrinda ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai Guru Premanande. All glories to the Assembly devotees, glories to the Assembly devotees, all glories to the Assembly devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prista Bhutale Shri Devaki Suritana Swami Namanaya Sattva Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamire. Noshta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhakti bhagavati nashtikir. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, chapter 12, text 11. Sattvam samihitam adhastiti janma nasham bhute hitam cha jagato bhava bandha moksha vayur yatha vishatikam chakara charakyam sarvam tad atmakata yavagamo varunse Satvam samahitam adastiti janmanasham Bhute hitam cha jagato bhava bandha moksham Vayur yatha vishatikam cha chara charakyam Sarvam tad atmakata yavaga kamo varunse Sattvam samihitam adastiti janmanasham Bhute hitam cha jagato bhava bandha moksha Vayur yatha vishatikam cha chara charakyam Sarvam tad atmakata yavagamo varunse Sattvam samihitam adastiti janmanasham Bhute hitam cha jagato bhava bandha moksha Vayur yatha vishatikam cha chara charakyam Sarvam tad atmakata yavagamo varunse. Vaishnavis. Sattvam samihitam adastiti janmanasham Bhute hitam cha jagato bhava bandha moksha Vayur yatha vishahita kachara charakyam Sarvam tad atma katayava gamo varunse saha. Your Lordship, Tvam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Samihitam, which has been created by you, Adaha, of this material cosmic manifestation, Stita Janma Nasham, creation, maintenance, and annihilation, Bhuta, of the living entities, Ihitam Cha, and the different activities or endeavors, Jagataha, of the whole world, Bhava Bandha Moksha, in being implicated and being liberated from material complications. Vayuhu, the air, Yata, as Vishati, enters, come in the vast sky, Cha, and Chara Achara Akyam, and everything moving and non-moving, Sarvam, everything, Tat, that, Atmakataya, because of your presence, Avagamaha, everything is known to you, Avaramse, you are all pervading and therefore know everything. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. My Lord, you are the supreme knowledge personified. You know everything about this creation and its beginning, maintenance, and annihilation, and you know all the endeavors made by the living entities, by which they are either implicated in this material world or liberated from it. As the air enters the vast sky and also enters the bodies of all moving and non-moving entities, you are present everywhere, and therefore you are the knower of all. Purport. As stated in Brahma Samhita, Eko piyasya rachayatum jagat ananda kotim yajchatir yashti jagat andachaya yad anta andantarsta paramano jayantar tarastam govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. I worship the personality of Godhead, Govinda, who by one of his plenary portions enters the existence of every universe and every atomic particle, and thus manifests his infinite energy unlimitedly throughout the material creation. Brahma Samhita 5:35. And Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavita Pis Tabirya Eva Nicharupataya Kalabhi Goloka Eva Nivasantya Akhilatma Bhuto Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who resides in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha, who resembles his own spiritual figure and who embodies the ecstatic potency, Ladhini. Their companions are her confidants, who embodied extensions of her bodily form and were imbued and permeated with ever blissful spiritual rasa. Brahma Samhita 5:37. Although Govinda is always present in his abode, Goloka Eva Nivasati, he is simultaneously present everywhere. Nothing is unknown to him, and nothing can be hidden from him. The example given here compares the Lord to air, which is within the vast sky and within everybody, but still is different from everything. Omagyanatimirandasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Namo Vistam Stapidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Darati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Again the text. My Lord, you are the supreme knowledge personified. You know everything about this creation and its beginning, maintenance, and annihilation, and you know all the endeavors made by the living entities, by which they are either implicated in this material world or liberated from it. As the air enters the vast sky and also enters the bodies of all moving and non-moving entities, you are present everywhere, and therefore you are the knower of all. So beautiful prayer by Lord Shiva. We're still hearing the prayers of Shiva. Lord Shiva, who is approaching the Supreme Lord with the desire to see Mohini Murti. So now, before he reveals his desire or asking his request, Lord Shiva is glorifying Krishna or Vishnu. And in today's shloka, Shiva is making the point that the Lord is the supreme knowledge personified. He is truly knowledge personified. I mean, in this world we have people who know a lot, right? And if someone has a lot of knowledge, then people respect that person. Or knowledge is one of the attributes of Bhagavan, which is very attractive. And someone who is knowledgeable is an attractive person. But I mean, if you understand how much Krishna knows, this is really amazing. And this is kind of implicated in this text. And Srila Prabhupada would say that in the West, people know God is great. But the Vedas tell you how great. Right? I mean, if you ask a Christian, someone, a pious person, or a Muslim, they will all agree, yes, God is great. God is great. But how great? That we need to understand. And this is the beauty of the Vedas. They really give us deep insight in how great God is. And that's why Prabhupada always emphasized before we jump into the 10th canto, it's so important to read Canto 1 to 9 to understand how great Krishna actually is. Like the Sristi Lila, the pastimes of creation is very important, that because it gives us an idea of how vast, how great Krishna actually is. We spoke about interfaith dialogue yesterday. Like last year, I had an interfaith dialogue in our temple, and the topic was creation. And we had a Muslim and a Christian, and myself. We talked about creation. How does God create? And of course, the Christian and Muslim, God worked very hard, 6 days, and the 7th day he kind of took a break. But in Vedic understanding, it's Sristi Lila. Lila means pastime, and and literally Lord Vishnu is sleeping, he's lying there on his bed and on the shesh, sleeping, and in his, of course, transcendental sleep, yoga nidra. But then just from his breathing out from his pores, all the universes are manifested. It's really like it's a lila. It's like it's also said the whole creation is just a dream of Vishnu. It's very effortless. There's no effort for the Lord. It's not that he has to work very hard, so he's so much tired he needs someday break off. Not like that, And then of course, if you, I mean, how big must Mahavishnu be? If from his pores all the universes come out, and then when he breathes in, all the universe enters again back to his body. That's just a second of his existence, and in the meantime, we have billions and trillions of years passing each creation. I mean, it's like incredible. And then from Mahavishnu, of course, we know. Then Vishnu again expands himself as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, enters in every universe, and then lays down. And then from the navel, Brahma is manifested, and Brahma is basically the creator. But then again, Kshirodakshai Vishnu manifests, and Kshirodakshai Vishnu enters into every single atom. And of course also manifests as the Paramatma and enters into every single heart of every living entity. And in this way, the Lord is completely all-pervasive, everywhere present. And this is what Prabhupada comments in the purport, like Prabhupada quotes Brahma Samhita, beautifully describing here. The first one is his plenary portions enter the existence of every universe and every atomic particle, thus manifests his infinite energy unlimitedly. So, and we understand, just like this body, the only reason that this body is alive is that the soul is inside. You know, if the soul goes out, then this body is kind of, you know, I could just drop here like this. But because the soul is inside, I'm the soul is inside the body, then the body is alive. So similarly, the whole creation, the whole universe, the reason why the planets floating in the sky and why everything is actually working the way it is, because Vishnu is, everywhere in every atom he's present. And by his presence, the whole creation is maintained, like this Bhagavad Gita. Krishna explains, like a pearl necklet. You know, he's the thread which holds everything together. If the thread goes out, then the pearls are kind of lost. So then at the same time, as described here, that's also the amazing thing, because Krishna himself actually just resides in Goloka. Here is described with Radha, who is the ecstatic potency, Ladini Shakti. And actually Krishna is just enjoying with the gopis and playing flute and having Ras Lila and, you know, playing with the gopas, just absorbed in his pastime. And in the meantime, his expansions, they are creating and maintaining and destroying. That's all going on side by side without any endeavor from his side. So that's how great Krishna is and amazing. I mean, that's just it's described that Ananta Shesh with thousands of mouths tries to glorify. So that's the last 5 minutes. It's just a glimpse of the Lord's glories. But yeah, here Krishna is described as the supreme knowledge personified because he knows everything. You know everything about this creation and its beginning, maintenance, and annihilation. And you know all the endeavors made by the living entities. So Krishna knows the creation. And that's not so surprising because, why? Because he is the creator. No, Krishna created the whole universe, and of course, so he knows. Prabhupada quotes beautiful shlokas from the Puranas, where it's described, at that time where there was no sun, no moon, no planets, no Lord Shiva, no Brahma, that time Narayan already existed. No. And Narayan is maintaining, and even if the whole creation is destroyed, Narayan still will exist. Like that point that Vishnu or Krishna is the origin, the cause of all causes. And he's there before creation, during and after creation. And because Krishna is the creator, he knows. Like, okay, I'm using this iPad here as my notebook because it's practical. And I don't see so well anymore, so here I can just make it big. But if someone will open this iPad and we look inside the iPad, I mean, I have no idea how an iPad works, right? No idea whatsoever. But someone, you know, from California, from the Apple, you know, those who have created this device, they will know everything. They will know, okay, this is how it works. Why? Because they have created it. So the creator knows everything about the creation. So in that sense, and if you look, the whole cosmic manifestation is so huge, so amazing. And because Krishna is the creator, he knows everything. He knows every detail. And not only that, he also is, as we said, as Paramatma in the heart of every living entity. And that's why he knows every endeavor made by the living entities. And this is also amazing, you know. We will talk more about that. And of course, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself says, Sarvasya jaham hridhi sani vishto matasvantir gyarma puhanam cha Vedaisha sarvair aham eva vidyo Vedanta krit Veda vid eva chaham. Vedanta krit, Vedanta vid. Krit, he's the compiler of the Vedas, and Vid, he's the knower of the Vedas. And, of course, he is the Vedas Shasarvairaham Eva Vidyo, he's the goal of all Vedas. So he is really the knower, personified knower as described here, because he has given all knowledge, he is knowledge, and he is the goal of knowledge. And Ridhisani Vishnu, as described here, he is also residing as the Paramatma in the heart of everyone. And in this way, he knows everything. And that's, of course, we understand the difference between the living entity and the supreme. That's also important that we spoke about yesterday, how sometimes a living entity starts to think, I'm God, I've become God or something. But the difference is quite obvious, because I am aware of my body, what's going on here, right? I know that maybe I'm a little tired, or I'm hungry and looking forward to the breakfast. But you don't know. You don't know that I have back pain, and that's why I have to sit properly. But you know what's going on in your body, maybe, But Krishna is that personality who is in the heart of everyone, and he knows everything about everyone. And if you, there's unlimited living entity. Even in this room, there's so many ants and insects. What to speak of it? Like if you cross this small stream, there is the huge forest, and in this forest there are so many living entities, so many ants, so many bugs, and Krishna is in the heart of every little bug, and he knows exactly what they're doing and what they're thinking. Or they don't think so much, but nevertheless, he's there. This is amazing. If you think about unlimited living entities, and Krishna is there in everyone's heart, knowing exactly, perfectly know what they do at any moment. And of course, Prabhupada often said that, and Paramatma from within, he also guides us, helps us, especially also, and then, of course, scientists, they speak, this is intuition, but actually it's Paramatma. But Prabhupada says this is from a lecture in 76. Knowledge given by Paramatma from within, the core of the heart, is explained by the modern scientists as intuition. They do not know where from that intuition is coming, and that is coming from God. Therefore, it is stated, Mata, from me, smritir jnanam apohanam cha. A small cup, like a small dog, baby dog, it has not opened the eyes, but still immediately after birth, it is seeking the nipples of the mother. So where from the knowledge comes? Robert says, small animals are born, they're not even open the eyes, but immediately they go and look, where is the milk? And of course, the birds, they're flying, some birds are flying hundreds and thousands of kilometers, and how do they know where they have to fly? It's quite amazing. But I think there is some devotees, they made a book on this. What was the name of that book? It's a book about the animal kingdom and how the animals do amazing things. And the only reasonable way to explain all of that is there is Paramatma in the heart. How do these animals know all these things? Well, this is instinct, intuition. But Prabhupada always said it comes from within, and that is from God. And of course, the super soul is there and tries to help us from within. And in the Bhagavad Gita, of course, we know all this. This is described the main function of the super soul. Upadrishtanumatma cha bharta bhukta maheshwara paramatmeti jabiyukto dehismin purusho para. Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the super soul. So the super soul basically has these two functions. He oversees our activities, and he gives permission according to our desires and our karma. If we deserve something from the karmic point, he gives permission. And if we don't deserve it, then he's not giving permission. And Prabhupada explains, very beautiful purport. The Lord is always eager to take him back to the spiritual energy, the Jiva. But due to his minute independence, the individual entity is continually rejecting the association of the spiritual light. This misuse of independence is the cause of his material strife in the conditioned nature. The Lord, therefore, is always giving instructions from within and from without. From without, he gives instruction as stated in Bhagavad Gita, and from within, he tries to convince the living entity that his activities in the material field are not conducive to real happiness. Just give it up and turn your fate towards me. Then you will be happy, he says. Thus, the intelligent person who places his faith in the Paramatma begins to advance towards a blissful eternal life of knowledge. So Krishna is paraphrasing, Prabhupada is paraphrasing Paramatma. Just give it up, turn your faith toward me, then you will be happy. This is what Paramatma is trying to tell us from within. And so it's quite interesting. So Krishna, of course, he knows everything because he's there in the heart, and he is the Upadrashta and Anumanta. So Upadrashta, he's there in the heart, and of course there is this lila. You may have heard that one. Sachinand Maharaj tells the story also. There was a guru who wanted to test his disciples. He called all his disciples in the ashram, and there was a basket with fruits. So he gave every disciple a fruit and said, so now it's a simple task. You just take the fruit, you go somewhere in the forest, and you eat the fruit, but nobody should see you. And that's the task. And then you come back. So everyone went somewhere in the forest, behind a bush, then they ate a banana, or behind a tree, or someone underneath the chadar, eating the fruit, nobody sees me. They come back. Everyone ate the fruit. Only one person came back with a banana in the hand. And everyone else was laughing. Such a simple task. Why did you not finish? And then the guru, let us ask first why. And then the disciple said, Gurudev, you told us that nobody should watch us. But wherever I went, behind the tree and in a cave, but everywhere I understood that the Paramatma, Super Soul, is watching. And the Devas are also watching, and the sky are watching, and the sun is watching. There's always someone is watching us. And then the Guru said, yes, you have understood. You are the true disciple. Because that's Krishna consciousness. To be conscious of Krishna all the time. But Krishna is always there. Sometimes we do some things and we think, oh, nobody's here. And now I can eat a lot of sweets. Nobody sees me. But this Krishna is always there. And this is also confirmed in Bhagavatam. Surayogniya kam marud deva Soma sandayana dishaha kamku swayam dharma iti yeta dayasha shakshina. So the sun, the fire, the sky, the air, the demigods, the moon, evening, day, night, direction, water, land, and the Supersoul himself all witness the activities of the living entity. So beside of the Supersoul, there is also the sun and the fire and the air, the moon. They are all witnessing, they're all observing us. So in other words, we are never alone. Big brother watching you. There was this, sometimes I have this TV, they put a few people in a room, and then they have cameras, and then people can watch how they behave, what's going on, how they start to fight with each other, and how they fall in love with each other, whatever. But actually, Krishna is always watching. And this is an interesting question, how would your life be different if you would be completely aware that Krishna is always watching? How would your life be different? You can ask yourself. Like imagine there is a camera team would always film you, for 1 month, camera with 24 hours would always film you. Would you have to kind of behave differently, or could you just be yourself and it would be okay? It's an interesting question. But the point is that Krishna is in the heart, and he knows, he sees everything we do, and he knows what we feel, he knows our emotion, he knows everything. And usually the idea that someone is always watching us is kind of uncomfortable, like always someone is watching me. This is very uncomfortable. It's not nice, someone is observing me. But actually, because Suridam Sarvabhutanam, Krishna is actually our well-wishing friend, there is no problem. If the best friend is seeing us all the time, no problem. If your wife sees you, it's no problem. She anyway knows you. Like the partner knows you in and out. You can't hide. So Krishna is also he's the best friend, and he knows. And that's actually also nice. That means if you turn towards Krishna in prayer, Krishna knows me so well. He knows everything about me. And he's my true friend. He's the only friend actually that I have. The only true friend is Krishna. And so that's the Upadrishta. And of course then is the Anumanta, is the other aspect, that he gives permission. And Krishna gives permission according to our karma. Sometimes we have a desire, we want to achieve something, but it's just not happening. And it seems that Krishna is just not making it happen. And that has something to do with that we maybe not deserve it. And that's because the law of karma is very complex. But Krishna has the overview. So this is also confirmed in the Bhagavatam. This is Kapila Shiksha. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Karmana Daiva Netrena Chantu Deho Papataye Striya Pravishta Udaram Pungsoreto Kanashraya. Under the supervision of the Supreme Lord, and according to the result of his work, the living entity, the soul, is made to enter into the womb of a woman through the particle of a male semen to assume a particular type of a body. So here is described how a soul enters through the male semen into the womb of a woman. But the important point here is karma daiva netrena. Daiva netrena means under the supervision of daiva, of a supreme authority. It's not whimsically that we just take birth anywhere, but it's according to our karma we take birth, and this is under daiva netrena. It's under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. That's also very fascinating. If you think about it, unlimited living entities, not only that Krishna is in the heart and knows everything, but Krishna also has the complete overview of all their activities from time immemorial. And Krishna manages the whole karmic reactions. That's incredible. Karma is not just, of course, it's a law that works in a way automatically, but Krishna is the overseer. He has full control over what's going on according to the law of karma. But for us as devotees, what is the most important? As Prabhupada explained, that Krishna actually is very much eager to enter a relationship with us. That's most important to remember. And Prabhupada describes the relationship between the living entity and Krishna in a very beautiful way. This is from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text 29. And Prabhupada gives a beautiful analogy. The text goes like this: I envy no one, nor I am partial to anyone. I'm equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I'm also a friend to him. So Krishna basically explains his close connection that he has to his devotees. And then Prabhupada gives a beautiful purport. He says, when a diamond is set in a golden ring, it looks very nice. Krishna. So you have a gold ring, and then the gold ring in itself is beautiful, but then on the top of the gold ring, you put also a diamond, and then you have a gold ring with a diamond, and that's very nice. The Lord and the the gold is glorified, at the same time the diamond is glorified. The Lord and the living entity eternally glitter, And when the living entity becomes inclined to the service of the Supreme Lord, he looks like gold. The Lord is a diamond. And so this combination is very nice. Living entities in a pure state are called devotees. The Supreme Lord becomes the devotee of his devotee. If a reciprocal relationship is not present between the devotee and the Lord, then there is no personalist philosophy. So Prabhupada says the living entity in a pure state is called devotee. That's the pure state of the living entity. If we are again serving the Lord, and Prabhupada makes this beautiful analogy that the Lord, the living entity, is like gold, like in the background, and the Lord is like the diamond. And together they look very beautiful. And that's why when we see Krishna, Krishna is never alone. We never worship Krishna alone. Krishna is always with the devotees, because that's how Krishna likes it. He likes to be with his devotees. And together it looks very beautiful. Golden diamond. And of course, unfortunately, we have turned our face away from Krishna and thought we can, enjoy and be happy without him. But now that's why we're trying to practice Krishna consciousness. We're trying to again re-establishing our relationship with Krishna. And the beautiful thing is that Krishna is very eager that we come back to him. And we have quoted this also many times. This is from Shrinvata Svagata Krishna Punyam Shravana Kirtana, that by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, if someone has developed an urge to hear Bhagavatam, a strong desire to hear Bhagavatam, then from within the Lord will purify the heart and remove all the anarthas from the heart. And in the purport, Prabhupada also makes a beautiful point. He says that when the Lord sees that a devotee is completely sincere in getting admittance to the transcendental service of the Lord and has thus become eager to hear about him, the Lord acts from within the devotee in such a way that the devotee may easily go back to him. So Krishna, he sees, okay, what is the devotee doing? Is he falling asleep while in the Bhagavatam class? Or is he like, let me hear something about Krishna. How wonderful is Krishna? Of course, sometimes we are tired because we get up early and we do a lot of service. But still, the word is shrinvata. Shrinvata means urge. This is quite a strong word, urge. No? Like if you have a call of nature, if it's urge, you have to run to the toilet because it's really urgent. That's an urge. But also sex desire, the sex urge. It's very difficult to control. So here it says, the Bhagavatam says, if one has an urge, a strong desire, I need to hear Krishna Katha. I want to hear Krishna Katha. I need to know about Krishna. I want to hear about Krishna. Then the heart is purified. Not just by sitting and then, okay, when it is over. But by having a strong desire to listen. Then the heart is purified. And then Krishna from within is very eager to help. And Prabhupada then beautifully says, the Lord is more anxious to take us back into his kingdom than we can desire. Krishna is very eager. When do we come back? When do we come back? Most of us do not desire at all to go back to Godhead. Only a very few men want to go back to Godhead. But anyone who desires to go back to Godhead, Krishna helps in all respects. So Prabhupada says most of us don't want to go at all back to Godhead. And it's interesting, if you reflect, are we ready to go back now? Sometimes, people ask you, will there be also pizza in the spiritual world? Basically we have our attachments, and then we are not so sure whether when we go to the spiritual world, then we are there with Krishna, and then what does it mean? Then we live in a forest, in a countryside, and we take care of the cows. Is it really what I want to do? I like my MacBook, and I like my hobbies, and I like my pizza, and what do I do there? So, in other words, we still have hope to find happiness in this world. We still have so much hope, so much desire to enjoy in this world, and we are not yet really understanding what it means. Like also Prabhupada says in Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna describes the spiritual world, that there is no need of sunshine and moon because it's all self-effulgent. Prabhupada says one should be very fascinated by this information. And one should become very eager to go back to this place. Because it depends on our desire. The only price we have to pay is slowly on this eagerness, this desire. And here it says that, unfortunately, we don't have so much to desire yet. But that's why we have to hear when we read the scriptures, when we hear Bhagavatam, then that desire is developed. And but the beautiful thing is here that Krishna is very eager to help us, and he will help us in all respects. If we develop some desire from within, he will help. And as a Paramatma, he is always watching. When will he turn his face? I think Sachinand Maharaj, was it here when he, or maybe it was in the retreat, I'm not sure. But Maharaj quoted from the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, where Krishna is saying, "Oh, I was waiting for you." Like, you remember? Gop Kumar retreat. Like, oh, when will you return? I made this arrangement and that arrangement, and I was hoping in this life you become a devotee, that life. Oh, not, maybe in the next life. I was waiting, and finally you came. Beautifully, Sanatana Goswami beautifully expresses how the Lord is actually waiting and waiting. When will we come back? When will we come back? So that's why Krishna says, I'm Suridam Sarvabhutanam, I'm Surid. There's different kinds of friends. There's Bandhu and Mitra. These are like colleagues. You work somewhere in a factory and then you have some friends, like some colleague. But then Surid is like a real friend, like a real, someone you can really trust. And there in the fourth canto, when we hear the story of Puranjan, when in the next life he becomes a woman, and there is described how the Avigyata Sakha, all of a sudden the Paramatma, that like he realizes, actually I have an unknown friend. Here it says, my dear king, once in the past lived a king named Puranjana, who was celebrated for his great activities. He had a friend named Avigyata. No one could understand the activities of Avigyata, also the unknown one, the unknown friend. And the Prophet explains, every living entity is Puranjana. The word Purna means within this body, and Jana means living entity. Thus, everyone is Puranjana. The living entity is he has a friend whom he does not know. And that friend is the Avigyata Shaka, one who has an unknown friend. And that unknown friend is Krishna. And of course, we spoke yesterday that because when someone develops more and more a desire to come closer to Krishna, what is Paramatma doing? When Paramatma sees someone is really sincere, what is Paramatma doing? Makes arrangements, yes. And what arrangement? Takes everything from you, Hari. Yes, that's one aspect. Sometimes Krishna is just taking everything away. So then we are like lost and we can't really turn back to material life, Takes away wife and money and house and everything. Bank balance. Krishna. But yeah, I mean, that he only does with some specific soul. Those who can take it, and it's actually a special favor. But usually the first thing Krishna is doing, what he's doing? Shiva Shakshat Nai Tate Guru Chaitya Rupe Shiksha Guru Hoya Krishna Mahanta Swarupe. Adi Lila 158. Since one cannot visually experience the presence of the Super Soul, he appears before us as a liberated devotee. Such a spiritual master is no other than Krishna himself. One should know the instructing spiritual master to be Krishna, to be personally of Krishna. Lord Krishna manifests himself as a super soul and as the greatest devotee of the Lord. So this is what Paramatma is doing. If he sees that someone is serious, then Paramatma is manifesting in front of the person as the Guru. Because Guru is one. We always say Guru Tattva. Krishna is Adi Guru. There's only one Guru, that's Krishna. And then some some jivas, some living entities, of course, some are nityasiddhas, they come from the spiritual world, and some are sadhanasiddhas, some have become pure through the practice. But then Krishna chooses some living entities to act as the transparent media, and these personalities are becoming guru. That Krishna uses this person to become an instrument that Krishna can, speak through them, act through them. In this way, Paramatma manifests through another person in the form of guru. And by accepting such a spiritual master, surrendering to such a spiritual master, receiving instruction and serving, and then of course pleasing such a spiritual master, in this way one can make spiritual progress. So, and when we reflect about this, that Krishna is in the heart and Krishna is very eager to help us, so there's a few things we can, maybe I can ask you, what can we, having this knowledge, what can we do in order to, increase our awareness that Krishna is actually in the heart? Or what does it mean for our life that we know Krishna is always watching us, Krishna sees us? What could be a consequence of this knowledge in our practical life?
We give 100% in our practice.
Okay, we give more, we are fully enthusiastic and sincere because we know Krishna is watching. Yes.
We can think about what is my next step towards Krishna.
What is my next step towards Krishna? So what can I do to come closer to Krishna? Yes.
Becoming more relaxed because we don't need to fear because somebody's watching over there.
Yeah, if the more we realize that Krishna is Surit, his friend, then we become relaxed. If we see Krishna as a supreme controller and who is punishing us and giving us the reaction of our karma, then we might be afraid. But if we realize that Krishna actually is our friend, then we might become relaxed.
Yeah. When we understand step by step more deeper, the super soul is always there and changing in Radhisya later, then we give up our free will. And by this love manifested in our heart. And it is anyway.
Ram Gopal speaks of a very high level, giving up our free will. Very high level, actually. Because usually we have so many ideas. This is how I want to do it. This is how it should be. Often we speak about we want to be the enjoyer, right? That's like in the material world, we want to be the enjoyer. Of course, that's the main thing how it manifests. We want to enjoy. But there's another aspect. We want to control. It should go my way. I have an idea, it should be like this, and if it's not like this, oh my God, then So that's also another way we try to control and enjoy, and to just say that, oh Krishna, whatever it's your desire, whatever you want, is very high level. Because usually our ego, we kind of, it's very difficult to just let go and okay, whatever Krishna wants, that's good. But yeah, I was thinking of, and then I will open up for maybe question, comments. I was thinking also in our relationship with other devotees, if we realize that Paramatma is not only in my heart, but also in the heart of everyone else, then the way we interact with each other, Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna Mataji, like we really understand Krishna is right there in the heart. So respect, and also the way we offer prayers, we know Krishna actually hears my prayers. Krishna is right there. Then most probably the way we offer prayer, the way we chant, everything becomes more intense. It says Tivrena Bhakti Yogena, that's the way we should practice. Tivrena means intense devotion. And intense, sometimes we think intense of quantity, doing a lot, but intense can also mean quality, the consciousness we have. And then, of course, we try to, the more we understand that Krishna is there in the heart, then we try to develop that relationship with him and, hopefully trying to become an instrument in the Lord's hand, and in this way become truly a servant of Krishna. So I think that's a very beautiful meditation about how Krishna knows everything and Krishna in the heart. Yeah, then we can open up for comments or questions. Hare Krishna. You had some comment?
I'm not sure, maybe this is also very a question. Also I feel very inspired by the end of the story from Gokuma.
Yes, it's inspiring. He made it.
So he wake up and by the call of Krishna, go, wo warst du so lange? And Krishna's running to go, and Gokuma was thinking, such a bad dream, what was there? And then he kicked out like us, when we have a bad dream, we want to...
Yeah, just get rid of it.
And so then he stand up and run to Krishna, and they take in their arms and cry. And this dream, it was the whole verse in the material world. And the question is, so they are coming, well, it is described a bad dream. And so that means when we enter our spiritual body, in the spiritual world, there are some influence from this bad dream there. We forget it. And that means also that is the end of free will. While we after that, when we running to the Lord, everything is in a free relationship to the Lord. And whatever is going on, we will accept. Is this true? You understand what I mean?
I mean, I understand almost everything you said, just the last point, then we lose our free will. I mean, we always have our free will, but then we fully become one with God in the sense of your will is my will. That's what you just said before, like that's our understanding of oneness in the sense that I just want to, the only desire is to please Krishna. That becomes like 100%. Which is so amazing if you think about, to really at this platform to only want to please Krishna, nothing else. Because free will always needs to be there so that we can serve Krishna. The example is given if someone is like a servant wants to massage the feet of the master, but if the servant is bound up with ropes, his hand, he cannot serve. So he needs to be free, and then he can massage, he can serve. So Krishna has given us freedom so that we can serve. If we don't have a free will, we can't really serve him. Right? But freedom is always there, and we could misuse it. But of course, it's described that if we are actually there in the spiritual world, we are so overwhelmed by love, there's no way that we can return to the material world. Unless Krishna sends us, like Srila Prabhupada was sent. Prabhupada didn't want to come, but Krishna sent him. But otherwise, you will, stay forever there. Yeah. And that's also, I mean, if we really would understand what is awaiting us, we would get up every morning like super enthusiastic. Haribol! Another day in Krishna consciousness, and there would be no trade of being mental or which super enthusiastic. If you really understand what is awaiting us, it's incredible. Like if you think that we have been in the material world since time immemorial, going through so many bad experiences, so much suffering, and now in this life we may attain perfection and go back to Krishna. And then Krishna, that's just pure love and pure bliss and spiritual world. I mean, how much should we be enthusiastic to attain this? I mean, I'm preaching to myself, of course. But that's why it's nice to discuss and exchange. Yes, Narayan.
Maybe you can give us a prayer, maybe a good prayer. Please, Krishna send us more devotees or something like this, because I think it's in every temple, it's a lack of devotees. And
yes.
Here it's really something. I really wonder I don't know. Sometimes Krishna sends us. Really, we have no, but Nico, so they are really nice devotees who came and suddenly they appeared. So I'm sometimes asking myself how it came, what is Krishna's plan,
Yeah,
how
yeah,
he lets us here. So it's really a difficult situation.
yeah.
Because we really we need, but I think maybe we don't want. I don't know. I'm really asking what is the.
It's a very good question, because I mean, yeah, as you said, every temple has many. I mean, here in the West at least, all the temples have this issue. And I remember for some time in Zurich temple, we kind of compiled a prayer. I was just writing a prayer, and we did some editing, and we discussed in this Goshti. Everyone agreed. Then we had a little prayer, and then after the Nishinga prayer, before the curtain closed, then one of us would go in front and just read the prayer. And the prayer was something like, "Please, Krishna, if you so desire, and we would like to increase, we'd like to have more servant for your pleasure, and please, and we promise." That was the important part. We promise if you send us these devotees, we will take care of them nicely, and then together we can serve you. But it was kind of a prayer we wrote, and then we offered every morning, just to express to the Lord, hey, we are making an endeavor, we are eager. I think the crucial thing is with that little point, we will take care of them. Kalakanta Prabhu, disciple of Srila Prabhupada in Gainesville, they have this Krishna house. Super successful. I mean, in the Western world, beside of India, this is the most successful preaching program that exists. They have a house, it's like a guest house for students. I mean, in India, they have this base. It's basically the same principle, but it's more for the Westerner, Krishna house. And students live there. But if you live there, they also have to go to some morning program and they do some study on the Bhagavatam. But over the last, 15 years or so, there were like 300 people went through this Krishna house. Many of them have become devotees. Many of them. And he gives a seminar about how to preach to Westerner. And he says, we don't expect a Rajbhog offering to appear without sending someone in the kitchen, right? I mean, if you have a cook, we have a Rajbhog offering. We don't expect that there will be an arti without sending a pujari doing the offering. You can't have an arti without sending a pujari. But then, usually we don't have a bhakta leader, and we think, where are the bhaktas? Why don't we have bhaktas? This is not logical. You need to have one person who is dedicated to take care of the devotees and train the devotees, a bhakta leader. That's his main service and main focus. And if you have that, Krishna will send devotees. That was Kalakanta Prabhu's point. And it's interesting, it's an interesting point. I really like it. But usually that is missing. We have cooks, we have pujaris, and we have, maybe even if you're lucky, we have a temple commander. But then we don't have someone who's just taking care of devotees and training them. And then if new bhaktas are coming, then we just engage them in service. They will serve the whole day. Nobody's talking to them. They don't get actually proper training. And then Krishna is kind of watching and is thinking, why should I send people there? So I think that's something we need to think or look into. How can we really think to make sure that how do we take care of devotees who are coming? And yeah, it's a challenge. That's some thoughts. So thinking about how to improve that situation with someone taking care and maybe offering prayers that could help. Yeah. But yeah, the fact that someone came is already a good sign. So something, you're already doing something good. Krishna already sent some, but Krishna maybe sends more if we endeavor more that direction. Okay, last question, and then.
So, how can we actually know what Krishna wants from us? If we are supposed to surrender to Him, and
yes, how can we know?
Should be His will, and how do we know His will for us?
How can we know what Krishna wants from us? I mean, Krishna is trying to communicate with us from within. We have to try to listen. That's one thing. Then, as we said, because it's sometimes difficult to hear that voice from within, and Krishna is manifesting in front of us as a spiritual master. So by accepting a spiritual master and asking the Guru, please help me to understand what is my service, how should I be engaged? And then if the Guru actually is a transparent media and he's connected with Krishna, then the Guru can give you guidance. That's one of the reasons why we accept the Guru. And if you not yet have a Guru, of course, Srila Prabhupada is there and we read his books and try to get inspiration from the books. And then there is a temple president, there is senior devotees who are also can act as a Shiksha Guru, can help us. So taking shelter of senior devotees, getting guidance from them, it's another way to understand. Sometimes it says if you want to know something, you ask 7 brahmanas, and if the 7 brahmanas all agree, then this is the right thing to do. So you have some important decision in life, you ask some brahmanas, you get feedback. And of course, there is Varna Ashram also. We all have a dharma. There is a swadharma according to our nature. That's why it's important to learn about ourselves. If you know yourself better, your nature, through Vedic astrology, there's other ways to learn about yourself. That can also help. Once you know your nature, you can engage according to your nature also. About your nature?
Yeah, like this astrology stuff. I don't know anyone who can.
Yeah, I mean, that's why the spiritual master usually should have good knowledge about humans. He should understand. And yeah, I mean, astrology sometimes in ISKCON we're a little bit. We don't need astrology, but actually, astrology is a Vedic science after all. Prabhupada says, just because it's misused doesn't mean that it's not a science. It's a Vedic science. So if you have a good astrologer, he can help, but you have to find a good one. That's the challenge. Yeah. And it's not the absolute truth. It just gives you some guidance. That's why more important that we connect with the spiritual master. He can help us. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. We should end here because I also need to complete my packing and then get ready, take prasadam and leave. It was a very wonderful experience to be here in Golokadam. Thank you so much for your amazing service. I mean, to see the altar every day like this and also the atmosphere. I mean, festival was very beautiful. So it was nice to get to know you better and also the community. And I'm looking forward to come back sometime. Hare Krishna, Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Golokadam Vasis ki jai, Gaur Bhakti Vrinda ki jai, Vancha Kalpadurubhascha Kripas. Wir haben